boys and girls. This is Mrs. Loew. Today we're going to talk about fiction and nonfiction books. Now I know many of you know this from when you were here in kindergarten, but we're just going to review, and for some of you new students, this could be something new for you. Okay, there are two types of books, fiction books and nonfiction books. Nonfiction books are your books that have information, facts. They usually have an index, a table of contents, and a glossary. These are the books that you would use if you had to do a research report. Fiction books, on the other hand, are books from the author's imagination. Please do not call them fake books. FIC does not stand for fake. They are books that are fun readers. They're from the author's imagination, the same with easy books. Now, you can see down here, I have three books. Skippy John Jones, The Chihuahua, and Hank the Cowdog. First of all, what do you think all three of these books have in common? If you said they're about dogs, you are right. Now, looking at those three books, which one of those books is going to tell you about the dogs? Which one's going to give you information about the dogs? Can you tell by just looking at the cover? Well, you should be able to, and if you said the book about Chihuahuas, you are right. Skippy John Jones is an easy book. We call that an easy or an everybody because it has less than 36 pages in it, and a lot of them are pictures. This is a fiction book. It's a chapter book, Hank the Cowdog. You could pretty much tell by looking at those pictures. Now, if you didn't know how to tell the difference between a fiction and a nonfiction book, what would you do? You know? If not, I'm going to tell you. You would look at the spines on these books. You would look at the spine labels. If the book has an E, it's going to be a fiction book, and it's going to be in the everybody section. If it has FIC, that stands for fiction, and it's going to be a chapter book in with the fiction books. And if it has letters and numbers, you're going to know for sure that it is a non-fiction book. Did we get it?
Is that it?
Keep going. Wait. So, when you come into the library, we're going to start going over fiction and nonfiction. Remember, there is a difference between a fiction and a nonfiction. You would not use a fiction book to do a report, would you? You would use a book on Chihuahuas that has the chapter table of contents, usually located in the front of a book. It will have an index located in the back, and finally it will have a glossary also in the back of the book. I gotta find it, right? Oh, and it's also called Words to Know, but it is a glossary. Okay? I hope you have enjoyed this easy lesson on telling the difference between a fiction and a nonfiction book, and I'll see you in the library. Okay, boys and girls, we know that nonfiction books and fiction books are not shelved together. This is done to help you find the books. Just imagine going into a library to find a fiction book when it's mixed in with the nonfiction books. So in the library, fiction books are kept separately. They're usually along the walls, or if it's an e-book, they're over by the front of the windows in the library. If it's nonfiction, they're usually in the middle of the library. Now, even under the nonfiction books, we have things like the reference books, which you cannot check out, and we have biographies. Those are both nonfiction books. Now that we know about the fiction and nonfiction books and what to look for, we're now going to find out where they are in our library. These books are the fiction books. They start at the spinners, and again, remember, if you look at the spine label, they say fiction on them, F-I-C, and then the author's first three letters. There are no numbers on these books. Okay, so all of these books start here and go all the way around the wall, and then they end at the place where I teach you. Okay, I am now in the nonfiction section of the library. Nonfiction books are books about real things. They have table of contents, glossaries, and index. As you can tell, I'm standing in front of dinosaurs. Were there dinosaurs at one time? Sure there were. How else are you going to know? By looking at the book spine label. If you look at the spine label, you will see that it starts off with numbers, and then underneath those numbers are letters. Those letters tell you who the author is. There are not all letters. There's numbers and letters. That is a nonfiction book. Now we are in the easy section. Easy or everybody books are also fiction books. They're from the author's imagination. We know that Madeline doesn't exist. She's just from the author's imagination. We know that Duck doesn't exist. He's from Duck and Dog. All these books over here have E and then the author's first three letters of their last name, as it shows in this book. Okay, we've gone over fiction, we've gone over nonfiction. You now know where all these books are located. Let's see how well you do when you come back to the library.